Hello everyone, good evening to all of you. Today is May 12th. May 12th is celebrated every year as a day of Gum Health Day. Now, this is an international day where we as a periodontist make sure that the public awareness about the health of your gums, health about your teeth, and basically the importance of gums and the relationship of the gums with your systemic health or an overall health has to be considered. Now, we will be talking about in detail about what are the various procedures of or protocols of managing gums and how can we exactly maintain the overall health, okay, so that you can very clearly understand what is the basic importance of the gum health. Now, today being a Gum Health Day, myself, Dr. Ashank Mishra from Dental Dontics. So my clinic is located at Hyderabad, Himayatnagar area. And I would like you all to know that this is an initiative by the European Federation of Periodontology, EFP. And this is a program, and every year we release a slogan where we give a slogan for the maintenance of the good oral health and a gum health. Now, before we move on to anything in detail about the gum health, you all should be aware like what a healthy gum is. A healthy gum is something what you can see. Healthy gum is something like a pristine gum. A pristine gum means there is no bleeding, there is no redness. Gums, where your gums appear coral pink, or sometimes you may say, not ideally it is coral pink, but ideally it appears like pinkish, slight pinkish, bluish, maybe with some pigmentation. And there is no bleeding while brushing, there is no bad breath, there is no gums which are receding, or you can see the gaps between the teeth. That is a healthy gum. Now, a healthy gum can become stage 1, which is called as gingivitis. Now, gingivitis is something called as inflammation of gums, which is the, I should say, 99 to 100% of the population all over the globe is suffering from gingivitis. So this is something is the most prevalent human disease and gum disease, which is called as gingivitis. Now, gingivitis gives its first sign when there is bleeding gum. So the moment you have sometimes bleeding gums while brushing, or bleeding while eating something or biting something hard, or maybe you may not have bleeding but a slight redness when you observe onto the gums or between the teeth, the part of the gum which is visible, that is a sign of gingivitis. And what we do normally when we see gingivitis, or we don't, first of all, we don't consider it to be a disease. That's the main problem. So all of you have to understand that when there is a bleeding gum, it is the first sign of a gum disease, and that indicates that the gum disease has initiated and eventually can lead to more severe stage of gum disease. So at that point of stage, when you come across this type of situation, you need to understand that you have got gingivitis, and the only management is a good oral hygiene, meticulous method of brushing, 2 times brushing for at least 1 to 2 minutes, flossing, interdental cleaning, which most of us avoid. So you need to make sure and reinforce that you start doing flossing if all the teeth are in contact. There are a lot of doubts which you all may have, that when do we have to floss, when do we have to use interdental brush, which brush to be used. There are so many available over the counter. So in the further videos, I'll be talking about what are the various oral hygiene practices, at what stage can you use, how do we use, and what are the options available. But presently, in the today's session, I will just educate you all to understand that gingivitis is something which is basic disease with bleeding gums, sometimes it may happen occasionally. You need to get a checkup by a dentist done and get a simple oral prophylaxis done, or a simple cleaning done. A simple cleaning is scaling, which will remove all the plaque. Now, why does it happen? It happens because when you don't brush properly. So when now brush properly means most of my patients say that, no sir, I brush 3 times a day, I brush 4 times a day, 3 minutes I brush. It is not a quantity of the brush, and it is not the strength of the brush. Some people still use a strong bristles brush. Use a medium to soft bristle brush, whatever recommended by your periodontist or your dentist. Meticulous hygiene, proper brushing technique, which is a modified Bars technique. You have to observe all those aspects of it, and you need to make sure the brushing technique will be there in the information section of my present video. And you need to look into the way of technique the brushing technique is used, proper flossing, and you have to maintain the hygiene. So maybe a one round of cleaning, and then you may visit dentist 6 monthly once. It doesn't mean that every time you visit to a dentist that you need a treatment or an intervention. You may just go for a checkup just to know how good your gingivitis is responding. If you do not visit to a dentist, if you are a very poor compliant patient and the gum disease becomes worst, the plaque accumulation. Now, what is plaque? Plaque is an invisible bacterial load which gets accumulated over your gum. So when you don't brush properly, the bacteria stays, it harbors onto your various zones of your oral cavity. They multiply, they form a biofilm, they form a plaque, they lead to gum disease. And if you don't clean the plaque, or if you don't get it professionally cleaned, then the plaque turns into a tartar. And the tartar becomes, again, a calcified mass, which you can see, the brownish, the yellowish, the greenish discoloration, which also leads to bad breath. This gingivitis will go into the stage called as periodontitis. You can see the difference in the pictures also. You can see the healthy gum, which is pinkish. You can see a reddish gum with slight inflammation, some swollen gum, some redness, which is gingivitis. This is reversible. Gingivitis is reversible. If you go at a right time, it is a reversible stage. When it goes to periodontitis, you can see that the bone between the roots of the teeth gets lowered down. That means there's a loss of the bone. And the bone at the side of the tooth, the interdental bone, also becomes weak and it lowers down. It reduces its size. The gums also recede down. And you can see that the brown color tartar is also formed, not only above the gum, but also below the gum. So the infection, the tartar, the plaque goes below the gum. The infection goes below the gum. And at this stage, it is called as periodontitis. And we cannot treat it just by doing a simple cleaning or an oral prophylaxis. Even though you have bleeding gums complaint, which is continuously, or maybe a daily you're having bleeding gums, then you come to us, but then you are unaware that you are at stage 2 or a stage where you have periodontitis. So periodontitis is a stage where you have gum disease, you are facing a problem, and you come at a stage where you get pockets where a periodontist, if you visit a periodontist who is a specialist for treating gum disease, then they evaluate using a periodontal probe. They mark all the areas of the gums around your tooth, and then what is called pocket, we evaluate, and then we decide what is the treatment plan for you. So this picture shows you the various stages of gum disease and what are the treatments which we can offer you. So at periodontitis, it is an irreversible stage, but still partially we can get the condition little better in terms of bleeding gums, in terms of pockets. But then what happens is and when it crosses more higher stage, eventually you will start losing your teeth because the tooth becomes mobile, tooth becomes loose, and we have no option than advising you to go for a tooth removal or an extraction. I will share some videos, some animation videos for you just for a better understanding, which is all, this is from the European Federation of Periodontology. So it shows loose teeth can be a sign of gum disease. The gum diseases are preventable. Here you can see. So these are all animated videos which are created for you to understand. It's a mobile tooth which becomes a problem. Here, it shows how important is the role of quitting smoking or the role of smoking and gum disease. Here you can see how exactly the smoking plays a very important role as a risk factor for gum disease. And there is a very high odds of the gum disease to become worsened when there is smoking. So you have to understand that smoking is very important and can lead to gum disease primarily or as a risk factor also. Okay. Now, something very important is gum disease or an oral health will affect your overall health or overall systemic health or well-being. Now, gum disease is just not a disease which happens in your teeth, which most of you very, very commonly neglect. It's just bleeding, it's just pain, it's just fine, just get a cleaning done. So this is what a casual attitude which you all carry. So it is not as casual as you feel, because it is just not the gums and the support of the teeth. It's just not the oral cavity. It affects its basic the inflammatory nature, the amount of infection, the amount of bacteria, the amount of inflammation what is there into your mouth, into your gums, passes all along to your body and leads to every disease from top to bottom, from strokes, from heart attack, to respiratory problems, to arthritis, to diabetes, and even to neurodegenerative diseases, which include Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and so forth. Now, as we are into a COVID pandemic and we have the second wave, and I think I've mentioned in my previous videos also how important is an oral health in terms of increasing the morbidity or deteriorating the condition of the COVID patient. There are a lot of literatures which have proven them, and I again would like to repeat today that, see, the coronavirus has got a portal of entry into your body from your nasal cavity or from your mouth. It enters into your mouth. That doesn't mean that the moment you from the opposite person as contagious from someone's coughing, sneezing, or the aerosols which is already there from the contagious person falls on you, or you inhale, or you take it up into your mouth, directly goes into your lung. No, it is not like that. So in the oral cavity, now the oral cavity has its own way of immunity, which is an oral defensive mechanism. Your mouth also has something to fight, and that is the saliva. The saliva of your mouth has got, the body has prepared some immunoglobulins, some defensive molecules into your saliva, which fights with the virus or a bacteria. That has to be very strong. That can be strong when your oral health is strong. Oral health can be strong when your oral hygiene maintenance is very strong. You don't allow the bacteria to build up plaque. So that is why we make the oral health very strong enough to maintain the immunocompetency of your mouth, so that you can fight with the virus, because virus stays in the saliva for a few hours, saliva, oropharynx, for a few hours before it goes down into your lungs. So that is the time where you have got few hours to fight and invade the efficacy of the virus. Maybe by this. Secondly, by a good mouth rinsing and antimicrobial mouth rinsing, which I mentioned before. There are two schools of thoughts. Betadine can be used or a chlorhexidine can be used, but that is also one of the very important things to be used, which has got antimicrobial, which includes antiviral extended properties as well. Second most important thing which you all have to understand is something which is very, very, very important, is the importance of virus, and something is when you have gum disease, when you have any sort of severity of gum disease, your gums become weak, they becomes leaky, they are perforated very easily. So what happens is, when the gum disease is there, or when the bacteria which I mentioned, you goes below the gum, which is called subgingival, below your level of gums. So what happens that this passes through the gums into your bloodstream. It directly doesn't go into your lungs, it goes into your bloodstream from the gums. And when it goes to your bloodstreams, it passes, and from the bloodstream, it goes to your lungs through arteries. So it is not a direct route, it goes. So that is why if your gum health, or if the, now I should explain you, like a gum barrier is very strong, it will not allow easily for the virus or for any bacteria, which is called as bacteremia or viremia, doesn't happen. That means the circulation of the bacteria or a virus into your blood doesn't happen. Because if it happens, then it's very easy, because all the blood of your body goes to your lungs for purification, because the oxygen carbon dioxide exchange happens at the level of the lungs. So this is how your gum disease makes it easy for the invading organism to enter into your lungs if the disease is there or if the inflammation is there. So make sure that the oral hygiene plays a very important role, and you still can prevent it. I know it's an extra layer of prevention, other than wearing a mask and social distancing or what conventional methods you are following. But then this has to be considered, because the rate at which the virus is duplicating or multiplying, the way now the present ratio, the RO ratio is very high for the virus. So we need to make sure that these things are important. And overall, I would urge all of you to kindly maintain a good oral hygiene and a good oral health. Take an advice of your dentist or your periodontist, either online consultations, teleconsultations, or visit with an appointment, because most of them are following protocols, and you can just visit for a consultation. Make sure that you, your family, oral hygiene reinforcement is done, and maintain it very well to avoid further complications, not only of losing your teeth, but also not to end up into any other overall systemic issues which are becoming a problem. One more thing before I conclude is the surge of cases with mucormycosis, which is also happening with dental infections, and including, so it is a combination which happens with the diabetic patients or on high steroid cases. You need to make sure that any sort of discoloration, if you observe in your gums, in your mucosa, in your palate, please report to your specific physician, dentist, diabetologist, ENT surgeon, or a general surgeon, and make sure, because the key to avoid mucormycosis severity, which you know is very fatal, is only prevention and an early diagnosis. So don't neglect. Make sure that you observe any changes and make sure that you are overall healthy and stay healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you.